Those are outcomes.
Learn well.
I know, that's right.
Hey, I had to set through 3 hours of that training the other
Okay,
day.
just so everyone's aware, chamber is unmuted and meeting is live.
Wait to hear back from Doug.
Ron.
I do believe.
Oh, I was just getting ready to dig my phone up.
What? Answer if you don't.
Chief.
No.
Used to be BSS, remember, and then we
We
merged.
can touch base. If not tonight, I'll catch up.
She'll be in up through the once they merge.
Actually, I think she's.
I'm going up. Yeah, then it gets this. Yeah.
Amanda, you were talking, I couldn't hear you.
Good for her.
We are unmuted and live.
Might be live.
Everybody, hang on.
It's not like.
Everybody,
Yeah.
nope. We're unmuted and live, everyone.
Ron. He stepped out to try to make a phone call.
Wait a minute. She said, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman. Trying to be ready. Trying to be ready.
No, they just got done 10 minutes ago.
It's always good to do that before we, the meeting starts.
Yes, behave. What are we talking about? Sleep on spitballs.
One of them people whose mailboxes is full.
Oh, God. Well, then.
Listen.
I guess we're ready, so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I believe we have a quorum, so minutes to approve.
Move them.
Is there a second?
Second, Mark.
Any discussion? Not all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. No appointments. We'll start with Mr. Dempsey. The treasurer, please.
Yes, you have my report. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions, so I guess. Thank you.
Report, I just wanted to mention that we've started a new person. in our office. Last time I was here, I reported we lost a person. And this time I'm here to report that we started a new person. We're excited about her future. And if any of you get a chance, stop down and say hello.
What's her name?
Kaylee,
And position is
our account clerk.
counselor.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Next is Grace Flowers.
Hello,
Hello.
you all have my report. Any of you have any questions?
Any questions for finance? If not, thank you, Grace. And Jennifer, please.
You have my report in front of you. I don't have anything to add, so if you have any questions.
Jennifer's quite efficient. I had a problem already in the town of Scipio, which is not even in my district yet. Somebody called and this afternoon, and I talked to Jennifer. It had to do with an assessment. And 2 minutes after I was here, the problem was solved. So thank you, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
I wish I could take credit for it. It was just already done.
I'm glad.
We're coming back around to foreclosures and all that stuff and assessment.
Yes.
So
So the-
dates and
Yeah.
updates on when that's all gonna take place.
The last day of redemption has already passed. So right now, there's an application in, oh, yes,
So what was that date? They get a call.
March 3rd. Yes. So people can no longer just pay the taxes and get themselves out of foreclosure. At this point, if it's a prior owner or an interested party, there is one application to request to repurchase properties. If it's just somebody that has an interest and no legal interest in the property, there's a separate form for them to request that. So for the people that don't have any legal interest, The date that they have to get requests into me by is April 24th. And that is right in my report as well. For prior owners and interested parties, the date is May 1st. So those will be taken on a case-by-case basis, and they will be reviewed with the real property group before any recommendations are made to the legislature. So, and then our foreclosure, our actual auction is scheduled for June, from June 12th to June 23rd. It's an online auction again. So.
Andy,
Yes.
What's, if you know off the top of your head, are we trending worse, trending better?
So there are far fewer properties this year that have been foreclosed on. Right now, our auction list, I believe, is 28 parcels. Last year it was far higher. I think with our repurchases alone, they were like in the 20s last year. So that's good.
Jane,
That's actually what I was curious about, numbers.
my question also. Jim,
A follow-up to Andy's question is, will there be an opportunity for us to see that by district or by town?
I've actually posted the list
Did
of
you?
properties that will be going to auction on the real property website.
Okay.
There's a tab on there for auction. So if you go under there, the list of the properties that are tentatively going to auction are up. There are a few other properties that we did foreclose on that we can't send to auction right away. Those are properties that had deceased owners and we didn't have a list of heirs. So in those cases where we haven't been able to serve proper notice, we hold them for 2 years to make sure no one can step forward and contest the auction, the foreclosure.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
any further questions? Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, next is Diane.
Hi, good evening. You have my report. I'll just ask if anybody has any questions.
Big no.
Just want to know what slope you were going down. Was it, a double diamond, black diamond, or?
Unfortunately, it wasn't black diamond with new fresh powder, so.
I hope you get it.
Thank you.
Diane, was it HR that coordinated this leadership training that Kathleen
Yes.
spoke about?
Yes.
How wonderful and how good it was?
Yes, we did that, and Shereen was a big.
Good. And this is just really for development of the workforce here?
Yes, yep, we're hoping to do it again in the fall, probably with some more people that are looking to
Advance
advance
up.
into supervisory type of roles. Good for them.
Great, that's good.
Any further questions? Not, thank you. I guess we're ready for resolutions, so. Number one is one that just came up. Resolution to fixing days notice of public hearing on the local law providing funding. Oh, for cold water records. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Motion?
So do we,
Second,
Yeah.
do we,
go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
do we have to attach like will this be now labeled WM2 or are we doing, I'm sorry, this is WM1.
This is, yeah,
My bad.
yeah, well, I was thinking the other one.
Yeah, I saw you go for the other ones.
Okay, discussions.
The local law I see is attached, and this is for a property tax exemption for a certain category of veteran.
Mhm.
Do we currently have any kind of veteran tax exemption now?
I think we probably do.
Yes, we do, absolutely.
Okay, and this would be broadening or adding a different category to that? And the, obviously, whatever tax exemption we do, which is, then the additional, the loss of tax revenue goes to the rest of the people in the county. This is not a huge amount.
It's not even.
And,
Jen-
I'm sorry. May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer,
Kevin Schwab and I will be doing a presentation at the full ledge meeting to
Good.
kind of explain why we're trying to move forward with this.
Okay, that would be great.
any further comments or questions? Okay, motion on the floor, so
Okay.
no further discussion. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Health and Human Services. Wayne.
Yep, Health and Human Services had 13 resolutions this month. There were 3 for the health department. 3 for health department, 4 for DSS, 2 for mental health, 3 for office for the aging. And HH 12 you'll see listed here is under county attorney, and that was to go over the corporate compliance plan. And we as a committee decided to move that forward, knowing that we're all going to be trained in the corporate compliance plan that's being devised and enacted. And that's going to happen at the ledge meeting, because there's a requirement for training of all the elected officials on corporate compliance. So we just moved that forward. There was one OFA appointment to the Office for the Aging Advisory. I can group these resolutions, or if anyone wants any of them separated out, I'd be happy to do that.
Move it as a bundle, Peaches.
Excuse me, but I want 3 and 7 just for discussion.
Okay,
3 and 7.
you want to go through those first and then I'll bundle the rest? I don't know how to do it.
Yes,
Okay,
okay, motion.
So I'll move 3 and 7 just for discussion.
Second, Basile.
Okay. We'll do it.
Just, I mean, what are we? I guess if we're making Brian be our highway be our motor pool, all this, and we're trying to rein in our motor pool. Did this go through? I mean, are these vehicles that are like got hundreds of thousands of miles? I mean, what is the reasoning behind? We're going to auction, they've been traded, what do we?
my guess, and this is only a guess, Kathleen's here, but most the cars come off the road and then they purchase a new vehicle so that we'll have a decent fleet. Because I heard Brian also talk about the increased rate for the maintenance of it, and he didn't think that was going to be that impactful to the various departments, because they pretty much have some new vehicles coming online fairly regularly. So my experience is every year, 1 for Department of Social Services, 2 vehicles in the fleet get turned over. Now, I don't know if whatever you take off the road goes to auction, or do you have any sense of that?
Well, we certainly do work with the motor pool. In order to do that, we don't make these decisions independently. They really monitor the status for us. We have, and I don't know who currently may be assigned to the motor pool, but in the past, George Scott has worked with us and said, this car might pass inspection now, but it's not going to in September. This one's coming off the road. So get your new one in the spring. This one comes off, it goes to auction when it does. Once in a blue moon, it doesn't have, we might get 1 more year out of it. Why don't you give it to this department to let them use it for 1 more year? And then, so they try to be very efficient in recycling and utilizing the vehicle.
That's what I was getting at, because I've been a proponent of, we shouldn't be keeping vehicles forever. We should be rolling them over every 3 to 4 years while they're actually worth something. But aren't these the same vehicles that we get some sort of reimbursement for?
The purchase of the new vehicles, there's the 36% reimbursement on the vehicle, and I think 75% on the DSS ones.
So if these aren't in horrible shape, these are the ones that we should be
Recycling to other departments.
recycling to other departments
Right.
at a regular interval, so
Because the new ones are eligible for
Yes.
reimbursement.
that we do save money. And I just didn't know if anybody had looked, I'm not opposed to this. I
Yeah.
just didn't know if anybody looked
Oh, that's
into this.
probably a very good thing to talk with Brian about.
Yes.
Yep.
Are these electric vehicles or are these gasoline vehicles?
My bet would be they're gasoline vehicles, but I don't know.
Ours are all gas. That's my
Yes.
understanding. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Done?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any further questions or comments?
Yeah, as long as Mark brought that up, will the new ones be gas or will the new ones be electric? Do we know that?
Purchasing to do that, I believe they're gasoline, but
That's what I was asking.
All right, thank you.
So I guess just maybe if we can check with Brian or whoever we need to see if these can be.
Right, because you're absolutely right. These are the vehicles that we should be purchasing.
Yes, these are the ones that can actually save us money.
Right. And
We
then,
need to be smart with these.
Yep.
And not smart with yours, Brian, because we can't recycle them.
Last year, we did offer ours up to Officer of the Aging and mental health, and
Right.
mental health, I think, took 3. We actually had 2 years, so we had a lot to give away, or,
Uh-huh.
put an auction at one time, and mental health took a few, and Office for the Aging also took one.
so prior to auctioning them, you looked at the other departments in the county
Yep.
for utilization.
Just get a
Veterans Office got one,
Might be
and we were
nice.
just
Can
in
get a
conversation
report.
with them about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who maintains reports on these.
No, we've been managing it just as departments. We'd love it if it were centralized.
Yes, and that's why we just invest.
So if we got a motor pool now, let's
Right.
have Brian decide, are these something we need to send off to auction, or can we recycle these to, I mean,
As we talked before, when we approved the additional motor pool staff, the departments don't want to coordinate and
No, we don't.
all of this, so, yeah.
We want to give that to someone else.
and this is our only
Yeah.
hope when it comes to vehicles of saving money, so.
So I don't know who would get us that report at this point, but it's certainly something that we're hoping.
If someone could talk to Brian,
Yep.
Any further comments on HH3? If not, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried.
And HH7 as well.
And 7.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Second, Mark.
Discussion on HH7.
Pretty much the same as the
Same
so.
thing.
Same thing.
Okay, everybody ready? Then proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Nobody?
I'll move the rest for bundle.
Second.
Okay, the bundle. Any discussion? Any questions? None. Proceed to vote. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried also.
Before we move off to the next set of agendas, I just kind of wanted to update the Ways and Means Committee about the discussion that Kathleen had at the Health and Human Services Committee with the committee members. And I think there was probably a week ago today, a document sent out to everyone on the legislature, kind of setting the stage for what she hopes to be a resolution she brings to the HHS committee next month. But the essence of this, and she's there if there's any questions, and if you don't recall seeing it, I do have some extra copies here. But she started the this is really about asking for consideration for a deputy director of the health department, which is no secret. She has wanted that. I think the thing that has changed, and we'll go through that, is the fact that there is this additional funding that's one of HH1, I believe, is the resolution this month where the health department is going to be accepting just about 130,000 each year for the next 5 years to build up the public health infrastructure. And that's the intent of the grant. So that would be the funding that she's proposing to use for the next 5 years without asking for additional funds to come from the county. She did in the beginning talk about the fact that there are 40 full-time people in the department, 6 part-time people, not to mention some per diems that are for COVID, but they're probably going to be phasing out at this point in time. The core public health work she put on this piece of paper, the fact that she runs a licensed home care agency and a diagnostic and treatment center, the early intervention services that they oversee, and they administer the preschool program, the 3 to 5 for children with disabilities. There's about $1.5 million in grant funding, including WIC. And, most of the grants come in to support the core public health work. So in essence, what she's asking, and she made her case at the committee meeting, is she's asking to fill a deputy director position, a grade 6 non-bargaining at a salary range of 73 to 85. 100% of the salary and fringe will be paid through this public health infrastructure grant for the next 5 years. And she's accepted this first annual award from this grant just this month. She outlined, and you can look over that, the purpose of why she feels the deputy director is needed. She talked about the fact if the deputy was there, the things that she as the public health director could free herself up to do. And, you know, it's no secret that there has been a significant loss of high-level staff in the health department. They're already gone now and more are leaving in spring. And then Eileen O'Connor is leaving in August. So, you know, at this point, she needs someone to oversee and supervise and work on overseeing the multiple programs of the county health department. And with the funding, she feels at this point that this is a way that, you know, she can do it in a fiscally responsible way. In addition to hiring a deputy, she'd like to remove an existing public health, supervising public health administrator position, and that's currently in the collective bargaining agreement of CSEA, grade 3, step 1. I think it's 67 to 74,000, step 1 and step 4. She'd like to replace it with a non-bargaining grade 5 with a salary range of 67 to 77. That's the full hire range. And basically, they'll be able to supervise staff, deal with disciplinary issues, to make policy. And at this point, I think that will be fairly much a wash, potentially even a savings, only because this non-bargaining position will no longer be eligible for overtime pay. Because you know, the current person in this job is eligible for overtime and overtime over 40 hours at time and a half. So she's asking for the deputy, she's asking to regrade the current public health administrator, and basically in an effort to make sure that this could be potentially supported, her request is to go ahead and fill a public health nurse vacancy that she currently has. One of the nurses in her department is going to be getting their bachelor's degree, move into that position, and she's stating that she will no longer ask for a backfill. So she's actually not filling the registered nurse position behind this. So at this point, you know, if she starts with 40 full-time equivalents and 6 part-time, she's with 40 full-time equivalents and 6 part-time. So if there's a rub about growing government or growing the size of the department, then, you know, that can take that concern off the table. And without filling the registered nurse position, you know, obviously the $67,000 salary in fringe would not be expended from her point 1. But, you know, I think she's made a case to try to get the needs of her department met, try to fill the hole from all the high-level positions that are being gone, and actually, you know, cutting back on one staff to be able to accomplish that if growing government is a concern for people here in this room or the legislature as a whole. So I advised her to not bring a resolution. I advised her to have the discussion, give people time to think about this. And after she met with the Health and Human Services Committee this month, they pretty much agreed to go ahead and bring that resolution next month. But this will be an opportunity, if you open her email or take a copy of what I've just gone over, you'll have some time as a legislature to think about it and weigh the pros and cons yourself.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why is
Let's hold it off.
hold it?
We're gonna go through it again, so
Okay.
let it just settle, okay, right?
Yeah.
For right now, and let people think about it. And if they have questions, contact Elaine or Kathleen, either one.
Yep.
Okay,
Ahead of the meeting next month.
Yep.
Yep.
then we'll handle it then, okay? I guess next is government operations, Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Government Operations had only one resolution. It was for the authorization to fill one full-time records retention specialist due to retirement. It is not a create and fill. It is just a fill due to a retirement. I also want everyone to be aware that Sue Dwyer is available. She is in the building and she is available if there are any questions that you have for her. So I would offer that at this time, GO1.
Move it.
Second and Mark.
Okay, discussion,
This is what-
anybody?
Yeah, this is what she's talked about for months. Yes, that we, okay, yeah.
If there are any further questions, comments, otherwise, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously, thank you. Planning,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have four resolutions, one amended resolution. Entertain a motion to bundle unless then somebody wants it separated.
Four separate.
Yes.
Number 4 separated, the bundle is 1, 2, 3, and 5
One, two,
on the
three,
bundle.
five. I'll entertain a motion to pass 1, 2, 3, and 5.
So moved.
A second.
All in
Okay,
favor?
discussion? Anybody? If not, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried also. PL4, motion,
I'll move it for discussion.
Second, Basile.
okay, open for discussion. PL4,
You gonna go first?
Andy?
What groups were involved with coming to this SWAT team? Or that name?
The sheriff had to be involved.
Steve?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Andy, can you repeat your question for me, please?
I said, what groups were involved with coming to this resolution?
What groups were involved? The planning department working on it. This is the individual who created the SWOT model, working with Cornell and Texas A&M University.
Was like our local, was like our local soil and water or anything like that involved or no?
They're involved in the SWOT model now. They were involved in the past, putting the information in and providing information for it. But as far as the resolution, this is authorizing a contract to continue with Nick Colas, who I think most of you know who Nick is, retired from the planning department. He's a specialist in the GIS that helped create the model. And really that's the reason why we're continuing to work with him. He's pretty much integral for the updating and the creation of the model. And I would say that we are working very closely right now with Jason Cutterback and Doug Pierce from Soil and Water on getting the information from the farms as to what goes into the model.
That was the other thing. What? I guess, so this is not actually implementing the plan. This is just to contract with Nick Colas to move forward.
This is updating the model, which needs to be done occasionally because as new information is put into the model, that makes the model better and more accurate and predicting and what successful is being done on the land.
But a lot of agriculture is involved in this.
Well, through Soil and Water. So they're our liaison out to the farms to say, this is what the practice is over here, this is what's going on the land, and so on. And we're using Nick as a technical specialist to input that data into the model and to update it.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Steve, this is the thing that, the resolution that I questioned at the planning meeting. This Nick Colas is the guy that's gonna do he's the sole source for the testing, correct?
He's the sole source, not for testing, Mark. This is the sole source for working on the soil and water assessment tool GIS model. I think you were questioning PL5 last time, if I recall. And
Yes.
I would add, we do have sole source documentation on file for all of these contracts. For the reasons I just sort of went over.
Well, I'm just gonna be upfront with you. I'm gonna vote no on this
Mhm.
this resolution for the fact that I know the 9-element plan still has some questions to be, ironed out. And I get that information from sitting on the Soil and Water Commission, and I'm just going to be opposed to PL4.
Any further comments, questions? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
PL4? Excuse me. Oh,
In favor, no.
okay. Let's see the hands again. Somebody count. Okay, anyone opposed?
Me.
Okay. Motion is carried. The resolution is carried. Okay, we have the bundle. Should we separate number 5?
I already voted.
Already been voted. We did the bundle, yes, okay. Public Works,
Public Works has 5 resolutions, Mr. Chair. They've been through committee and passed. Does anybody want any of them separated? If not, I'll offer them as a bundle.
So moved.
Second, Mark.
okay. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor of the bundle?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody? Carried. Judicial and Public Safety, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judicial and Public Safety has 11 resolutions tonight. I would offer JP 1 through JP 11 as a bundle. All were passed at the committee. Unless someone would like one separated, I will note that JP 5 was amended and passed at committee.
Move that, Elaine.
Second.
Second.
Okay, discussion on the bundle.
I just have a quick question. I missed JP 7 Liberty Resources. What's what are they providing, the beer council?
That would be a peer that would come into the jail for.
Right, so I see that the one is for victims of overdose, the Liberty Resources. What, do they have a specific thing they're focusing on, or is it?
For Liberty, it would be just peer support. So it would be one peer provided by Liberty to come in.
Like case management?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any further questions or comments? If not, all those in favor of the bundle, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Also carried unanimously. And I believe we're done.
No.
I go.
That's right. That's right. Sorry about that. Okay. Resolution number is not listed, but it's a resolution requesting the state to allow us to continue charging 4% sales tax.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Do we need to attach a number to this, like WM2 or anything?
Assuming it passes, that'll be done by the clerk's office tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, so any discussion on it? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried unanimously. Okay, and then we have another one. This is renewing a contract, basically extending a contract or contracts, I should say, so authorizing the chair to enter into an agreement with Bond Chenick and King for the purposes of providing county legal services for the human resource, civil service, and labor negotiations for the years 23 through 25. So need a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Second, discussion,
I have something.
please.
Two, actually. One is the college. We pay for that, or the college?
We do.
We pay for their $10,000 a month. Okay, that's interesting. Number 2, do we go over this? Have we gone over this in the years and have to pay them overtime?
No, it's, in fact, their invoice, it's just, there's no time allocated. That's a flat fee. They're on call. Labor negotiations can go on for months and years. It's covered. It could be done in 2 or 3 meetings.
So even if they put in more than $12,000 a month worth of work, let's say,
Correct.
they don't
Doesn't change.
bill us for that. They just will tell us the next time we do this, they want more.
And just so you know, they also invoice, they defend us on certain
Yeah.
litigation matters that are unrelated to the labor
Yeah.
management projects. We charge separately for those, you know, we Sarah's speech for different matters. Our insurance companies assign other attorneys, you know, it's covered. But this one is a fixed fee, regardless of the amount of time, number of attorneys that work with, primarily with the HR civil service in a given month.
This is what we normally do 3 years.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize 3 years ago we did the college too.
Any further questions or comments? Jim?
Quick question for clarification. So
They do more than just the negotiation stuff then. Is that what I heard?
Sure, I mean, our HR department, they're on call. If there's a legal question, I think our director uses them regularly, you know, there's a civil service matter. They have attorneys that are experts in civil service.
Do they help in discipline and those kinds of things?
Correct, yeah, yep, section 75 proceedings.
We keep Peter busy, in other words.
Yeah.
Any further comments?
No.
I should have went to law school.
Okay, all those in
It
favor
was accepted.
of the contract? Aye.
I,
No, I wouldn't have.
Anyone opposed?
you would.
Carried unanimously again. And I believe this is the end this time.
Executive
Executive
session.
session.
We have an executive, everyone,
Go in executive session.
all of the legislators naturally and the ones that have been working on the CSEA contract. We're gonna have that right now. Just before we do that though, before people leave, I just want to let you know there's the state of the county and the state of the city presentation tomorrow. I think some of you know about that. Others probably don't. It starts at 8 a.m. It's live. It'll be down the Auburn Public Theater, but it'll be online. So if anybody wants to see it, there's been a lot of work put in. Steve, myself, and Shereen will be doing the presentation. So just don't everybody. Okay, can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Good.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we know where to go.
We know where to go.
That's where to go.
Where are we going?
Tell you what.
Ellen back.
If you ring.
Thank you.
You know where to go.